Everyone. Um, I want to start off by telling all of you a story. Are you all interested in listening to a story? Okay, perfect. We all like stories, don't we? So let me tell you about this young man. We're talking about 1987, right? When I think most of the people who are in this room were probably not even born. But back in 1987, there was this young man. He was graduate from Sri Ram College of Commerce. If you're familiar with India, it's probably the best institute for commerce. He was a CA, he just got married, quite excited about life, and he was driving on his little scooty in Delhi on the roads, and he met with an accident. But it wasn't a big accident. It was a minor accident. He was rushed to the hospital. The doctors tied him a plaster. And they said, you'll be fine, but come back in 2 days and we'll open the plaster. When he went back after 2 days, the doctor who was supposed to be there on duty 2 days before actually met him. So he actually had a junior doctor, tie the plaster 2 days before. And he said, so who tied this plaster to you? He said, the guy who was there said, actually, unfortunately, they tied the plaster too hard. And the blood circulation in your leg has actually stopped for the last 2 days. So it's impacted your leg way more than it should have. And while it was supposed to be a minor fracture, it can now be something probably more complicated. Anyways, this was Jan 1987. He was disheartened. But 6 months later, something very great happened in his life. His eldest daughter was born. And no prizes for guessing who that was. But that happened to be me. And the story that I was telling you was about my father. So I was born in July 1987. My father was very happy, and of course mom too. And life moved on. 3 years later, my younger sister was born in the same month, and we were a happy family. Dad decided to move to Saudi Arabia because he thought he wanted to move out of the country. And my mom, whose geography skills were probably not the greatest, opened the map and saw that Abu Dhabi is really close to Saudi and decided to move to Abu Dhabi, assuming it'll be like an hour's drive. But clearly they were two different countries. After a few years of separation, trying to get together, we all got together. We were in Abu Dhabi, going to school, fantastic life. Of course, the little troubles and the struggles that are there, but life moved on. And then, a few years later, in 1995, my father started falling more sick. So we took him to the doctors, and the doctors said his leg was actually not okay, and they had to amputate his leg. It was a difficult one for the family, but everyone has challenges. So my father went through his first amputation in 1995. So when you have an amputation, it means long time off from office. And of course, for mom, it was playing dual role for both the mother and the father. And us young girls, Shobika was 5, I was probably 8. We were too small to even understand what's going on. Life moved on. A few years later, we're talking about 2000 now, the doctor said, you know what? We probably need to re-amputate the leg. Why I'm telling you all this is, of course, what goes on, goes on. But when the second amputation happened, my father, who was probably this bright young man, CA, SRCC graduate, actually lost his job. Because his company said, you know what, we can't give you so many off days. Every 6 months you're going into the hospital. So he lost his job. Well, 2 young girls, a mom with a school teacher job, and a dad who had his double amputation. It wasn't as bad, guys. Trust me. There's more to come into the Bollywood story. So save the tears for later. Child since her childhood. At the age of 6, she won the title of Miss Junior Charming, Abu Dhabi.
My hobbies are singing and dancing. I love swimming and drawing also. Do you know, I am the girl who won the maximum prize in IST.
She was an all-rounder kid. She won medals for being the best dancer. She was always on top of her game, be it academics or public speaking, which was her passion.
A story. Anita and Blake again. Once there were three close friends. They were Nura, Reena, and Anita. They were always together. They went to school together. They came back together. They did their homework together, and they played together.
She was a natural on stage. Whether it came to being in dramatics or dancing or even public speaking.
Today I'm going to recite a poem called Leisure. Leisure.
Shobika
Life
was always a
We
winner.
had no time to stand and stare.
There was no stopping her. She was a happy-go-lucky young kid who was living her life to the fullest.
I have still not forgotten the day when I said a final goodbye to Abdabanian School in grade 8, where I started my schooling in KG. I was a topper throughout my class, but I had my classroom on the second floor. After the diagnosis of Friedreich's ataxia, the doctor advised my mom that I am at risk if I trip and fall. And falling from the second floor could be fatal. The school could not shift my classroom from the second floor to the ground floor, because the ministry rule said the junior classes should be on the lower floor and the senior section should be on the higher floor. Keeping my safety in mind, my parents decided to drop me out of school. There are many people in this world who seem to fight an unseen battle in their life with a big smile on their face. They don't cry or crib about the situations that are demanding. They deal with their life in the best way they can in the given circumstances. I continued my education through the open schooling. I completed my grade 12 and joined American University of Dubai for my bachelor program. Today, I proudly say that I have almost completed my master's in psychology. I will be submitting my dissertation soon and secure my degree thereon. This journey was certainly filled with pain. There are many life situations will bring in pain, but the winner is the one who deals with all this in the most pleasant possible way. I remember the first day I accepted to sit on the wheelchair. I thought to myself, Shobika, you cannot wait for a miracle to happen and make you walk. The fact was that doctor already announced that there was no treatment for my disease. You can't sit in a corner and cry and beg people for mercy. The only thing I could do was to accept the way I was. The sooner the better. Let me tell you, friends, the pain reduces when you accept the reality. So dear friends, if you cannot change the direction of the wind, you can always adjust the sail to reach your destination. Wish you all a happy journey of life.
So that was a little bit about Shobika's life. So we're only reached 2005. In 2005, Shobika dropped out of school, and as you saw, she did not let this come in her way. But what was very interesting is once Shobika came to know that she has this disorder, being the rock star kid that she was, it was very, very difficult for her to accept that life is going to change now. Now I'm not going to have those hundreds of friends flocking over every day calling me for the cool parties. I'll probably be a very different person. For 2 years after that, Shobika did not step out of it. But in those 2 years, Shobika said, you know what? Every time things are not going to go the way you plan them. Life changes. But what next? And that's when she decided that she needs to finish her education. She was a bright kid. She used to get 9.5 out of 10. She used to come home crying. She couldn't be an uneducated girl. So she decided to enroll herself in university and took the metro every single day to go to American University of Dubai and completed her graduation and even her master's thereon. So life moved on. Shobika is wheelchair bound now. But once you become wheelchair bound, there are a whole different set of challenges that come your way. Shobika and I often, when we went out on the roads or when we went out to see movies, you know, we always have to sit in the first row and watch a movie. Because, I don't know if any of you've noticed, but most of the theaters have entrances from the front. And because it's only stairs thereafter and a wheelchair cannot go on the stairs, we sit in the front row for all the movies and watch it. So we did that for a few years. But one fine day we were in India and Shobika had to be carried even to the third row where our seat was by 4 people. And she's a big girl and she didn't enjoy that entire process. So seeing the pain she went through, I decided to speak to the manager about it. And I went to him and I said, you know what, you guys are a big chain in India. Maybe you should make your theaters more accessible for people who are on the wheelchair. Why should we sit on the third row and see the movie? And even to get on the third row, 4 people had to carry my sister and that's absolutely unfair. To which the manager very uninterestedly folded his hands and he said, you know, you people come from Dubai. Now that's why you are on the wheelchair and all of these troubles are there for you. In India, we don't have many people who are on the wheelchair. And the moment he said that, I was angry. How could he be so ignorant? How could he say something like this? And Ruchika in her anger mode is not the greatest person to be around. So I took out all my anger on him and I said, that's absolutely unfair and you don't know your facts. And I gave him a whole moral lecture. And I came home and I thought about it. I realized it was not his fault if he was ignorant. He was ignorant because, you know, the thing is, when someone's on the wheelchair, there's not a lot of awareness around that. Like how many people do you know around you who are on the wheelchair? You can probably count them on your fingers. But then again, it's not because there are not many people on the wheelchair, but because the society is not inclusive, because the facilities are not accessible, people on the wheelchair often sit in their house. According to the World Health Organization, 1% of the world population is actually wheelchair bound. We're talking about 6 million people roughly globally. It's not a small number to think of. Most of the countries have a population of 6 million. But again, someone needs to raise this awareness. And that's where our initiative Wings of Angels came into play. We decided to do something to create awareness about wheelchair accessibility. We got back together and set up this group called Wings of Angels. It's with a Z. And we simply create awareness about wheelchair accessibility. Our model is very simple. We approach organizations that are not accessible, inform them that there's something called wheelchair accessibility. Now most of the organizations, trust me, it's as simple as literally informing them. And they're like, hey, thank you for the great suggestion. We never thought about it. And they put up a ramp. And once they do that, we go and give them a certificate, congratulate them, and then that's about it. And through this mission, we want, of course, the city that we stay in, which we love so much, to be wheelchair accessible, but eventually the whole world. Because if we as a society have not made this society inclusive for people who are on the wheelchair, then we failed to make everyone optimize their full potential. Currently, Wings of Angel has built over 500 ramps in the last 2 years. And we continue this journey. And it will be great if all of you can join us and be a part of this initiative. It's really simple. Whenever you go home and have the time on Facebook, join us on Wings of Angels with a Z on Facebook. And there's a sign up tab. Sign up with us, and in your free time, we can give you lots of things that you can help us with in terms of creating awareness. But to sum this entire journey and story, life has not been a rosy picture. It of course has its ups and downs. But since we are here in this platform, I want to leave you with some key messages whenever you think of us sisters to think of. I think the number one most important thing in life, whatever happens, is acceptance. It's all in your mind. You do not realize the power of the mind, right? Let me tell you the story. So my mother's a psychologist, and I hated her when we were younger because she would repeat her stories over and over again. But today I think those are the most valuable words that have stayed on with me. So young elephants, when they're in a circus, they're actually tied with chains, okay? And they try to kick it and break it, and it doesn't break. When they grow much bigger, they're tied with loose ropes. Yeah? Now they have the strength to even break open a chain. But because in their mind, they have the memories of the tough times and they tried opening a chain that didn't break, they don't even attempt to open the rope that they're tied with. That's with the elephants. All of us here are definitely not the elephants. It is all in our mind, right? So yes, accept whatever is happening. Things might not be great, things might be falling apart, but don't be like that elephant who does not try, because this is really all in your hands, all in your mind. The second message I want to share with you is about 25 gold coins. With the invent of social media, of course, it's become really cool because you know what's happening in your friend's life. You're updated every 5 minutes, Instagram, Snapchat. But what it's done is also created a lot of dissatisfaction with life. Look at them. They're going on a holiday, and here I am sitting and studying. Look at them. The commerce kids, they're sitting and partying right now. And here I am with my bio books. This is so unfair. Haven't we all felt that at some point of time in our life with social media? But trust me, life is about 25 gold coins. And remember this story every single time you are not satisfied with your life. We all have 25 gold coins. Now the proportion of these gold coins will be in different forms. Like for example, my 25 gold coins, maybe 10 of them are my family, 5 of them my career, 5 of them my health, and another 5 for the friends that I have around me. Some of you might have 15 points in your family and maybe 5 on education and 5 on something else. The proportion of these coins will vary. When you see social media, now say for example, if I was a very rich girl or I was a very popular girl, on social media you will see my 20 points which are on rich, popular. You'll see all those pictures coming up and you'll feel dissatisfied with your life. But the reality is, you might not have this, but you have something else. And we all do, trust me. So you need to go home today and sit and think of what those 25 gold coins are for you. And once you have that written down, every time you see a picture that troubles you inside, like, damn, I wish I had that person's life, just go and look at your 25 gold coins, and that's about it. And work towards enhancing those gold coins. The third thing I want to share with you is the joy of giving. Really. When I was a young kid, I was very competitive. Every single competition, 3 badges on my shoulder, and I would still not be satisfied. It's great to be competitive. It's great to win. But it's also very important to give. Because the more you give, the more you get. And I cannot tell you the importance of this. Wings of Angels was our way of giving back to the society. But look what it's given back to us. So much love from so many people. The goodness in the world. We're called to platforms like these to talk to young minds like you. So just go out there and help. If you know science better than your friend, go teach your friend. You will learn, you will memorize the sum better because you've taught 3 times. In your free time, see what you can do to the society. How can you help? Like every single time that you get a chance, give. And don't worry if it will come back. Don't keep account of, oh, I did this for you, I need you to do this for me. It will not come back from that platform, it will come back from another platform. But just keep giving. And you will someday remember me and really say, oh, this good thing happened maybe because I did that good thing to that person. It's never from the same thing, but at the end of the day, it's a circle of life. It will come back to you. The 4th thing is follow the gut. There is a little voice in you. You guys are young right now. Maybe that voice is not that loud right now. Maybe at my age, when you get to 30, it becomes louder. But keep listening to it. It knows. It always knows. Your morals, your characters, your experiences are shaping that voice. It might not be something that everyone else is doing or saying, but it's right. And if you keep listening to it and following it, you will be a much happier person. And happiness is all that matters. So keep listening to that gut, to that little voice. They all might be going out there and doing things that you think you should be doing. But if that says no, don't do it. You don't have to be a part of them. Eventually, slowly, you'll find your way through it. And finally, take a chill pill. Really, we stress ourselves over things that are so small in the bigger picture. It really doesn't matter. There are no mistakes, trust me. I remember when I went to college for the first year in Delhi, I hated it. My friends were partying in Bombay and Bangalore. Here I was studying BCom honors in one university where I had 4 tuitions. I hated it. And I thought it was the biggest mistake of my life. But it shaped me to be such a better person from where I was. It gave me experiences that were so much more different. There were so many times in my life where I'm like, what a big mistake that is. My father losing his job. Shobika getting on the wheelchair. These all could have been big pushbacks in our lives. But they were not mistakes. They were just guiding us, shaping us to the bigger goal, to the bigger picture. So every time you have a mistake or something that goes wrong in your life, just stop, breathe, and say, you know what? It's not that wrong. It's just shaping me towards something. He has a plan, and believe in that plan. So just be happy, live life to the fullest, and thank you so much. It was great being here. I'll just leave you with one thing that I've read in Paul Coelho's book. You are what you believe yourself to be. So just remember this. Every single time, every single occasion, you are what you believe yourself to be. Thank you.